Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're doing day 6, angle relations. First thing we're going to discuss is pairs of angles, and our pairs of angles, the first thing is adjacent angles, which I did use yesterday. The term adjacent angles means two angles in the same plane that have a common vertex and a common side but don't have any interior points. So that means they're simply not overlapping. So A are adjacent, B are not because they do not share a vertex. C, it kind of depends on how we're interpreting this. If we're talking about where angle Y is this blue and angle X is this purple, yes, they are adjacent. But those circles there kind of indicate to me that they continue. So if we continue the purple to here and continue the Y to here, those are not adjacent. And again, D is not adjacent because they overlap right here. Complementary angles are two angles that add to be 90 degrees. And these two angles do not have to touch. 30 degrees over here, 60 degrees over here, those add to be 90. Supplementary, two angles that add to be 180. So again, they do not need to touch. If this one's 110, this one's 70, those are supplementary. Adjacent angle pairs that form a straight line. Linear pairs are really, really important. We're going to use these a lot. So linear pairs are adjacent angles that form a straight angle or that are also supplementary. And that's going to be our theorem. So the only pair here that is letter B. So our first theorem is linear pairs are supplementary. Now, I think it's an excellent idea if you want to start to make yourself flashcards, a Quizlet, because in this year there's a lot of vocabulary, a lot of theorems, and this would be our first theorem. Vertical angles are two angles whose sides are on opposite rays. So we're always looking for intersecting lines. A is actually a linear pair, so they're not vertical. B is not really anything, and C are vertical angles. Now our next theorem is that vertical angles are always congruent. And notice when I'm writing up my theorems, I use a lot of symbols. And that's because mathematicians, we don't like to write, and you're going to have to write a lot of these, so symbols are going to become handy. Perpendicular lines are two lines that intersect to form right angles. Our symbol for perpendicular is an upside down T. Like that. Segment bisector is any line or subset of a line that intersects a segment at its midpoint. So here we're going to draw a picture of the following. Be sure to mark. So given XY bisects AB. So that means AB is our segment and XY is bisecting it. So that means that XY is traveling through M such that AM is congruent to MB. And that's what I mean when I put these little marks here. That's a congruent. Now the opposite would be AB bisects XY. So that would be, we can still have it going the same way, AB going this way, but that means that XY is one being bisected. So if they intersect at M, that means that XM is congruent to MY. Means nothing about the other segment. Perpendicular bisector is a line segment, or a ray that is perpendicular to the segment and bisects the segment. So draw a picture where EF is the perpendicular bisector of CD. So I'm going to draw CD, and then I'm going to draw EF going through it. And EF is a line, such that EF is perpendicular to CD and it bisects it. So if I call this G, CG is congruent to DG. So that means that CG is congruent to DG, and the angle CGE equals 90 degrees. And in fact, there's 4 right angles there. So examples. Oops. I want you to pause and try these and then come back and check. Okay, so complementary to BOC is BOA. Supplementary to BOC is COE or EOC. And then adjacent to AOC, you have 2 choices here. You could say COD or COE. Now, here's a couple of word problems that I want you to try and then come back and check. Actually, I'm going to do number 4 with you. So it says 2 angles are complementary, and the degree of the smaller angle is 50 less than the degree measure of the larger. Find the degree of the larger. So just like when we did algebra, we're going to define variables. So I'm going to say let x equal an angle. Now, if x equals an angle, I know the degree measure of the smaller is 50 less than the larger. So I'm going to say that x is the larger, and then x minus 50 equals the smaller. And then I know they are complementary. So complementary means they had to be 90. So that means x plus x minus 50 equals 90. I do that algebra. 2x minus 50 equals 90. 2x equals 150. Nope, not 150, 140. Sorry. And x equals 70, which is our answer because x was our larger angle. Now go ahead and pause and try 5, 6, and 7 and come back to check. Okay, so hopefully you tried these. On number 5, I made my angles 7x and 2x. Therefore, 7x plus 2x equals 180. Gave me x equals 20, and then the angles are 140 and 40. Number 6 was a little bit trickier because I have 2 times the supplement of an angle is 100. So I made x the angle, and then 180 minus x is its supplement, because supplements mean they had to be 180. So 2 times the quantity 180 minus x equals 100. So x equals 130, or the angle is 130. Then number 7, I used the drawing, and I got 2x plus 40 equals 180. Therefore, x equals 70, which was my 2 angles. So we have a couple more examples here to do. So I want you to go ahead and try these and come back. I'm going to pause again while I do them. Okay, so our 2 examples that we had left here is angle DFE is right angles. So that means that BE is perpendicular to AD. So in fact, we have 4 right angles there. We're going to use the fact that it's a right angle and that 6x plus 3x add together to be 90, which gives us x equals 10. And then 12y minus 10 equals 90, which means y equals 8 1/3. BFC then is 6 times 10, which is 60. And then the other 2 are just the fact that it makes a right angle. Down here on number 9, notice the first thing I did is I drew a picture. Diagrams are very, very helpful. I then know that AFB is congruent to EFD because all vertical angles are always congruent. That enabled me to find x equals 18, which means that angle AFB equals 66, or for that matter, EFD equals 66. AFB and AFE are supplementary because they're a linear pair. Therefore, it's 180 minus 66 gives me 114. So again, we'll do these classwork problems tomorrow during class. If you have any questions, please jot them down and bring them with you.